So the next thing that we could probably talk about here is the muscle pulling aspect of the slow out so for instance, let's say we have this person, and I'm just going to represent it by these very simple shapes. So here's the head and here's the torso, and then we have these arms that sort of just dangle here and then here. And what we want to do is kind of raise this arm a little bit and actually, let's say, for instance, he's weightlifting and he's going to be lifting the weights and he's got the barbells and he wants a straight arm, so he wants to actually exercise the deltoid muscles in this case. But one of the things that we have to take in consideration is that because it's moving and it's moving from this radius, right? There has to be an arc that we have to consider, and it's moving from this radius, this radial point right here, this pivot point. So much like you would see like in a clock with the minute hand moving around, and then we have the increments of time, this is going to be moving in a circular motion. And then this radius right here has to remain consistent as it's moving across, right? And so we have to sort of create that same kind of arc. So what we might want to do is measure this and then create that arc so that it doesn't look like the arm is shrinking and growing as it's moving along. So on a 90-degree angle, it probably be right around here, and then 45-degree angle should probably be around here. And now we can sort of create that arc as it's going here, and it's a big circle, and then here is the radius. And we're going to kind of figure out the spacing of that so that it slows out, right? So we're slowing out of this stationary dangling position. So remember the laws of inertia. It has to be motivated by an outside force, and that's going to be these deltoid muscles here that are going to lift it up. So we can say that, let's say the spacing is going to be here. We're going to create our sort of spacing chart and then try to make it increase and accelerate to the point too much, like maybe right here and then right here. So let's make this a little bit more obvious, the spacing. So we can use that as our guide to create this arm moving up. So let's do the second position right here. And it's going to overlap a little bit as we go here, kind of like we did what we did with the circle, right? Let me get another color and move that up and then create that spacing here, kind of like a fist, right? Then we move up to the next spacing, that would be here, and then the next spacing would be here as this arm starts to move. And he's trying to keep his arm on a straight line, very straight, because he wants to maximize the deltoid muscle activation here. So we continue like this, and then we do one more. Let's use the blue. Right, so it's accelerating into this point. So this is going to be the greatest amount of speed in this gap right here. So all these little gaps in spacing are going to be taken at 24th of a second as it moves down the timeline, and then it'll give you the illusion of it moving in a slow out, increasing speed formation.